Okay, welcome Minneapolis high school fans back to Mabee Arena here on December 13th, 2019. So we're here for the championship game of the Tri-County Classic, Minneapolis Lions versus the Halstead Dragons. The Dragons having won, I believe, the last 2, if not 3, championships. This is the 10th annual Tri-County Classic. Came into play after with the demise of the Blue and Gold Sacred Heart Invitational. Minneapolis boys have won 5 championships out of those 10. The last one was in 2015. They placed second 3 times and third place once. Overall, Halstead is 3-0, just like Minneapolis, coming into tonight. They have won by an average scores of 54-23 for a plus 31-point advantage. Here in the Tri-County Classic, they have won by an average of 58-24 for a plus 34-point advantage. And that sounds like an awful lot, Mike.
It is.
But then you have Minneapolis Lions that are also 3 wins, 0 losses. They won by an average score of 84-42 in their 3 games for a plus 42 points. And in the Tri-County Classic, they won by an average of 81-27 for a plus 54-point advantage. So on paper, we look pretty good compared to the Dragons. We'll have to see tonight how that continues. Here in the Sunshine Leagues, it's awesome, 52 degrees outside, 4:30 in the afternoon. This is the 17th game in the series between these 2 schools, dating back to 2004. All games have either been in preseason tournaments, or 2 games now have been played in the Adolph Rupp Winter Tournament in January down at Halstead. Halstead leads the series 9 wins to 7 wins for Minneapolis. And they have won the last 5 games in a row. Minneapolis last one in December of 2015. So see if we can get a break tonight, this afternoon, and reverse that series and keep undefeated as we head towards the final week of December play next week. And Mike, we came off a big game last night in Minneapolis versus El Saline. Obviously an outmanned team for various reasons. 2 terms that describe what happened there is, number one would be blitzkrieg, and another would be shock and awe. So if you want to put military war terms into it, we just relentlessly attacked. And
El Saline was just outmatched.
They were.
They're just,
and I'm not saying any of that to people at El Saline. They definitely are outmatched. So I mentioned that to begin with. But the efforts of these boys as that game went on was much appreciated. Winning by a score final of 92-15, or 19, excuse me. Largest point spread for a Minneapolis win in modern times, dating back to 1918.
Well, we better be ready to play because Halstead has got some shooters.
I hope we can continue the shock and awe.
There's
here in this game
5 guys out beyond the arc hitting threes.
You're watching that closely during warm-ups, huh? All right.
Yeah. University into Mabee Arena for the final day of the Tri-County Tournament.
Now for the starting lineups.
Our championship game matchup today brings together the Minneapolis Lions,
Halstead and Minneapolis.
And the Halstead Dragons. And now your starting lineups in alternating fashion. First for the Dragons, a 5'11 junior.
For Halstead, number 1, Cameron Core, 5'11 junior. For Minneapolis, number 1, Caden Griffin.
For Halstead, 6-foot junior, number 2, Lakin.
Halstead, number 2, he's 6 foot. That's Lakin Farmer.
6'2" junior, number 3,
Farmer, no R. For Minneapolis, Jonah Usherman. For Halstead, number 3, Eric Probst, and he can shoot the 3 just like his number 3. In Minneapolis, that's Daniel Watson. For Halstead, number 12, Isaac Radke, he's 6'1". And for Minneapolis, Nolan White.
Jackson Swift.
For Halstead, in the middle, Jackson Swift. They show him as being 5'11", but he's taller than our 6'2" Davidson, so I guess him to be 6'3" instead of 5'11".
The Lions are coached by John Darrow, assisted by Josh Lott and Tim Niles.
I look for a pretty good game here, Dale.
I do too. This will be a good test for us. Probably the toughest opponent we've played so far this year.
These rules provide for fair competition among
I look for the Lions to come out and press relentlessly and try that shock and awe factor here on the Dragons, see what results.
Thank you and good luck to both teams. Reminder today's game can be heard on 92.7 KCUH Salina, online at KSAL.com.
Okay, jumping center for Minneapolis is Jonah Usherman, and for the Dragons, that's Isaac Radke. We're underway, and Minneapolis gets the tip. Out front, Davidson could have been called for a walk. Griffin picks up his dribble. Outside shot from White is up and good. Now that full court pressure and the long arms. And Oshman up and in. Long arms of Griffin intercept that pass. Good defense, and they throw it away. Well, we mess up. It was backcourt all the way, just let it go. For some reason we dive for it and tip it out of bounds. It's going to be Halstead's ball. And Watson with the quick hands tips it right out of the hands of Cameron Core. Halstead will play it in. Lakin, Farmer, no R in there. Little push off there as Watson hits the floor. Three-pointer from the corner, no good, and White has the long rebound from Minneapolis. 2-on-2, stops and pops. In and out, no good. Davidson tip, no good. And Halstead has the rebound. That's a, well, I was just getting ready to say that's a blocking foul on Osherman, but they call it the other way. He took a step to the side, and it didn't look like he was set, so we got lucky there, I think.
Derek Friel in for Jonah.
Player control foul. Minneapolis with the ball. White. Skip pass to Derek Friel. Back to White. That's a zone. White will shoot it. There's another one. In and out, no good. Watson, chip in, good. White come down to the floor with it. Looking Griffin. He almost had a steal there, and Core had to block him out of there to keep him from getting the ball. Fischel and Nelson into the contest.
Reaching foul on Fischel.
Blocking foul on Fischel.
Blocking.
Foul starts number 15, Dylan Fischel, his first. Team first.
Friel with the good defense. Palmer has the ball right now for Halstead. Way out on top. Nelson with a good defense.
Stripped away by Friel.
Stripped out there. Jackson Swift tries to get all the way to the basket, and they're going to call it off of Halstead, and Minneapolis with a couple calls here in the early going that favored us. That not always happens, does it, Dale?
No, it doesn't. Fourth turnover of the quarter for the Dragons.
Nolan White off to Derek Friel. Back to White. Davidson in the post. We need to get him going down there.
Like that?
Just like that. Just like that. Off the glass. Nice shot by Spencer Davidson. That's what we've been missing. And they call a blocking foul this time on Friel. He looked pretty well set. So I guess they evened up the calls on the charging. Oshman back in. Griffin bent over a couple times. I don't know if he caught something. White. And Friel layup. No good. He missed the layup. We get it back. White. No good. Osherman. Good. John Osherman over the top. Boy, we're hitting that offensive glass, and that's been our MO so far, the defense and that offensive glass. Dale, all of a sudden Minneapolis with a quick 11-0 lead. I didn't see this coming.
Not quite 3 minutes gone, Minneapolis up 11-0 when Halstead takes their first timeout. Well, I didn't particularly either. I can always hope. But Minneapolis again, as they like last night, is jumping off to a lead here, minimizing the offensive effectiveness of their opponent by giving great defense efforts themselves.
Takes them out of their game. They've got to scramble to get something going, and it's the defense that's working for Minneapolis here. Has been all season long. I didn't see the Russell game, but the other two I have, and they're relentless.
Well, the Russell Broncos, this is hard to say because they haven't been consistent over the years, but they're about as good an offensive output team as we've seen yet.
Oshman picks them up full court. Now the double team. Another charge. This time Friel held his ground and the player control foul. Friel
got some blood maybe.
Took an elbow to the chin and it opened up.
Non-contact sport, Mike. Basketball, isn't it what that is? Non-contact sport.
Steri strips and a Band-Aid, and Neosporin and a Band-Aid, and send him back in, Coach. Yeah, we got a couple spots on the floor. We're gonna have to get that. It's going to be a few minutes by the time they clean up the floor. We're just into this game. 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Minneapolis with an 11-0 lead. Derek Friel took a charge down in the paint, and he must have caught an elbow or a tooth from his opponent in the chin and opened up somewhat of a cut on the bottom of his chin. They're waiting for the blood cleaning up equipment to get the drops off the floor. When a body's pumping blood like that and you're running, it doesn't take much of a cut for it to bleed profusely. Mackel is going to try and find something to clean that up.
Oh, with the floor has still not been cleaned up?
Right.
I wondered what the delay was here.
Yeah, the floor's got a couple drops out there. Meckel's going to find something, a disinfectant of some sort. Clean that up, but you should be wearing gloves when that takes place.
Yes.
Well, we're going to take a 1-minute timeout. We'll be back with you once the floor is cleaned up. And we'll let Dale mention a few of our valued sponsors here that support us during our streaming telecast. Dale?
Again, I left our recording device at home, unfortunately, after it got charged up. So we will be mentioning all of our sponsors that I can have memory of. Bennington State Bank in Minneapolis and Salina. Central Power and Equipment in Minneapolis and Salina. Central Valley Ag. Ag by Air. Hometown Hardware in Minneapolis. Chuck's Collision out on 106 Highway. The Messenger Clothing Company. Robertson Monuments in Minneapolis. The Davidson Agency in Delphus, Minneapolis, and Bennington. River Hills Seeds. The Citizen State Bank and Trust in Minneapolis and Delphus. And the Scott Osherman American Family Insurance Agency in Minneapolis and Belleville. The blood has been cleaned up.
You know, Dale,
Mr. Creel's back on the court.
As many snaps that he took under center in a football game. And I don't know that he got cut at all.
Well,
all football season long. And takes one here in Mabio Arena. Hopefully he'll be back after a little Neosporin and a Band-Aid. Griffin out on top, Minneapolis with the ball. Entry pass to Davidson. White from the corner.
Boom!
Three-pointer.
3 of them tonight so far.
Well, that was White that made that three-pointer, not Jonah Osherman. Nolan with a nice stroke from the corner.
Nice block by White.
They tried to draw a foul, but there's just nothing there. We were straight up. Watson! Slashing through a one-hand runner off the glass and in. Halstead trying to break this pressure. And does. Now out on top, Farmer. Swift has it. Dribble drive and baseline. Shot up, no good. Nolan White above the rim for that rebound. Now Griffin. Davidson looks at a three. That's a blocking foul all day long. Good call. Eric Probst tried to take the charge. Davidson didn't lower his shoulder. If he would have, that kid might still be on the floor.
Colby Wright, John Nelson, and Dylan Pischel in for the Lions. Osherman, Davidson, and Watson sit down.
Colby Rice going to play it in for Minneapolis.
3:47 remaining in the first.
Pischel shot, no good. Griffin on the backside. Clean it up. Clean it up. He is deadly around the rim. He gets that ball. He keeps it way above his head and puts it right back up and in. At 6'2", it helps to be 6'2". Now Colby Rice with a good defense. And Griffin, I believe, is going to be whistled with the foul as Swift gets all the way to the basket. Yes, foul's on Caden Griffin. Swift to the free throw line for a two-shot foul, I believe. First free throw up and good.
They break the ice, cutting that 18-0 run for the Lions to open the game.
Davidson headed back in.
Turning to the Minneapolis lineup, number 30, Spencer Davis.
Dr. Meckel is doing a little plastic surgery on Friel. He'll be back in here shortly.
Let's hope he has malpractice insurance.
Second free throw is good. He got them both. Nelson clears the timeline for Minneapolis. Out front, Colby Rice, three-pointer on its way. Air ball.
Out of bounds off the Lions.
Full court pressure. Fischel trying to trap. And they throw it away. Good job, defense, to promote.
Seventh turnover on the Halstead Dragons in this quarter at 2:56 remaining in the first. Friel returns.
Friel back in. No spots on the shirt. He's a tough kid.
Yep.
A little scratch like that isn't going to stop him. 2:54 left in the first quarter. Griffin left wing looking inside. Davidson has got a shorter guy on him. Be a good place to work. Nelson travels.
Minneapolis' second turnover of the quarter.
18-2. Swift has it. Getting ready to be double teamed.
Friel pick.
To Griffin, misses. Nelson, he stepped out of bounds when he grabbed it. Swift tried to save it for Halstead. I think if he would have let it go, it would have been off Nelson. It will be Minneapolis ball to play in. Friel to trigger in the inbounds play, and we'll spread the floor.
Osherman and Davidson return, and Watson.
Osherman back to Friel, left hand. Nope, right hand. Osherman.
Give me that thing, Jonas says.
I want that one. Jonas slides through the defenders and elevates. Nice job by Friel. Now they're going to give it to Halstead on some smothering defense. Smothering, Dale. Smothering defense. I like it when we're doing it without fouling, per se. 3 team fouls so far.
3 team fouls for each squad.
And we pick, that's Friel again. Griffin slides through. Yep, good call. He was moving with him. He wasn't set.
He wasn't set.
Griffin will get a 2-shot foul out of the deal.
Each player is entitled to their space. Unless the defender gets to that space sooner. That did not occur.
Minute 56 left first quarter. Griffin, free throw good. (21-2). Make that 22-2. And the full court pressure is on. Yeah, we tried to reach in, tip the ball away, but we ended up tripping. Palmer. Caden Griffin's second personal foul here in the first quarter, and it doesn't take long for Coach Darrow to bring 3 up to the scorer's desk. Griffin will take a seat. What a save by Davidson after Griffin plays a good defense. Friel throws it away. Archman. We still get it. Somehow Friel come out of that. We lost it down low. Well, Griffin, I thought Griffin would head to the bench with 2 fouls in the first quarter. Minute 30 left.
Friel, Osherman, and Griffin sit down.
Colby Rice will play it in.
Well, Rice, Nelson, and Watson.
Davidson misses. Gets his own rebound. Shot up and good. He's tough over there with that left hand. He's got 2 buckets over there tonight, and I think that's the only thing we've been missing. I mentioned that on the trip over here. We get Spencer going on that side of that rim with the left hand. Those baskets are sometimes automatic for Spencer when he's on. 24-2, and Spencer will get the and one here. Free throw up and good. And it's Daniel Watson against the team. Layup all the way in, no good. Spencer Davidson has the rebound. Nelson all the way in, reverse layup, no good. White is there.
Possession arrow to Halstead on the tie-up.
Yeah, that's almost technical foul.
1:12 to go here in the first quarter. Minneapolis with a 25-2 lead.
He's a little bit frustrated. They're getting beat. They're getting spanked. Excuse me. Do you see that forearm he threw on Daniel Watson's head?
No, I didn't see it. I think I was marking something down.
Nelson isn't going to put up with it. Two-shot foul coming. Tempers are starting to flare a little bit.
Foul starts to number 23, Dylan White. His first. 2 lines for the Jackets, number 2, Lakeland Farmer.
They missed the forearm that number 2 threw up the side of the Daniel Watson's head.
Turning for the Lions, number 15, Dylan Fischel.
Second throw on its way, no good.
Nolan White is set down.
Swift with the ball.
30 seconds remaining in the quarter.
Jump shot in the lane, no good. Watson has the rebound from Minneapolis. We've got a run out. Nelson. Jump stop. Woo! Shot is good. Changed directions pretty quick there, didn't he, Dale?
Yes, he did.
Ball is tipped out down on the baseline as Farmer tries to wrestle it away from Davidson.
6.5 seconds remaining here in the first.
Returning for Minneapolis, number 3, Yoda Hoffman.
(27-3). That's a block. Oh, no. You're kidding me. That's a terrible call.
I would tend to agree with you. 6th team foul on the Lions, 5 on the Dragons here. 4.1 seconds remaining. That was the first on Colby Rice.
Palmer, long shot, no good. That's the way it's going to end. Halstead getting spanked here and not liking it. Minneapolis leading 27-3. We'll be back with the second quarter here in just a minute.
3 free throws scored for the Dragons.
Smothering defense.
Meanwhile, Minneapolis scored 18 points in the first quarter before the Dragons got that first point. Okay, I'd like to thank our community sponsors, and I hope I'm not leaving any out. Sunflower Realty, Designs, D&M Body Shop, Schooler Grain, Crooked Nail Studios, The Quilt Shop with Carolee Austin, Harris Crop Insurance, Minneapolis Muffler and Pipe, Autotech, Farm Bureau Insurance with Matt Pickle, and your brother-in-law's company,
Profab,
yes.
Bill Little.
Profab with Bill Little. As we get ready to go to the second quarter here. Possession arrow to the Lions.
Paschal has it on the right wing. Watson out on top. Motion offense. 3-second violation on Osherman. I think it was Jonah anyway. He's the only one there. We've taken off full court pressure to Halstead's relief. Dragons get try some half court set now. Doesn't mean that we're not done playing defense. And Osherman all alone on the backside with the rebound. White has it. Between the legs dribble. Gets it off to Paschal on the right wing. Dribble drive. Osherman all alone. Palmer can't contest that. Osherman's about a foot above him when he got up to the rim. And Jonah puts it up and in.
I almost thought I saw a dunk attempt coming there, but nope.
Palmer cuts through the defenders.
They scored their first field goal of the game.
He keeps throwing that forearm. Those referees are going to take care of him in a little while. He throws it away. You see that?
I saw the results of it, but I didn't see it actually happen. Friel with the 2.
He just waylaid him onto the floor.
Blocking foul. Call on Friel.
He was planted.
His second. 17.
Well, 31-5. The referees better get a hold of this game. That's all I can say. Free throw up and rimming out.
Returning from Minneapolis, number 30, Spencer Davidson.
Davidson back in. Watson, Davidson, Osherman, Friel, and White. White is fouled by Palmer.
His second.
That's his second.
To the line for the Lions, number 23, Nolan White.
I would just take the ball against him one more time, and he'll be on the bench. We won't have to worry about him, will we? 2-shot foul. First shot, good. Nolan White. Pleasant surprise. He has blossomed into one heck of a basketball player this year. Got them both. He was pretty decent last year. He's real good this year.
I remember him getting to play late in his freshman year, and we thought, where'd this kid come from?
And he comes out of there with a rebound. 2-on-1. Oh, good hands by Cameron Core with a nice defensive play to tip that ball out of bounds. Friel play it in. We stack it up on the inbounds. Davidson on the backside. Yeah. Defend that left hand. That's tough. Davidson had him on his hip and the bank shot up and in. Davidson, I believe, has 8 points. Swift from the outside lines up a 3 for Halstead. Davidson Hands it off to White. Three-pointer on its way. No good. Creel. Watson. Davidson out on top. Turns and shoots. No good. Everybody hits the floor. And Osherman cleans the glass on the other end as they get all the way in. Now Davidson with a leaner. It was 4 on the other end that missed the shot. Now Davidson with a leaner on the other side. Banks it in. 4:38. Well, they call a blocking foul on somebody.
Davidson was in the vicinity. I don't know if they called or not.
Yeah, it was Spencer. Looked like he was already by him. He must have leaned into him a little bit. Palmer at the free throw line. Free throw, no good. Colby Rice back in, Griffin back in. Second throw on its way. He got the second one. Griffin, shot in the paint, no good. Hands it off to Farmer. Now Halstead sets up that
blocking foul on White.
They're not biting on the player control foul.
I don't think Jonah was, Nolan was quite set there. 9th team foul, still 1-1 here. 4.12 seconds left.
Key at the charity stripe.
In the second.
2-shot foul. Jonah Oshman back in. Nolan White heads to the bench. Misses the second, and Nelson right there, John Nelson for the rebound. Colby Rice, Caden Griffin, entry pass to Osherman, back to Nelson. Osherman gets his own rebound, front arms, short arms it, and then Nelson horsing the boards. His stick back, he is fouled.
Foul charge to number 5, Chandler Drake. His second. 2 line for lines. Number 12, John.
Chandler Drake with the reach-in foul. Nelson will get a 2-shot foul here. Missed it. First shot, front rim. Second free throw, same as the first. Off the front of the rim, no good. 3:51 left in the first half. Motion offense. Swift. Dish it out front to Palmer. Timeout called for. Full timeout by the Halstead coach as they didn't have much going on in the half-court set. Minneapolis leading here. 3:16 left in the first half. 37-11. Halstead starting to get on track on the offensive end, Dale. They're starting to score some points. Most of them are from the charity stripe. Swift hit a three-pointer from the corner. Other than that, not a lot on the offensive end.
6 of their 11 points have been free throws.
So 2 field goals, a 3 and a 2.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The rest of them are free throws.
That's a fact. Again, our community sponsors, these live video broadcasts, are ProFab with Bill Little, Farm Bureau Insurance with Matt Pickerel, Auto Tech with Dave Sweat and Gary Keating, Minneapolis Muffler and Pipe, John Blake, Harris Crop Insurance, the Quilt Shop, Carrie Lee Austin, the Crooked Nail with Miss Kern, the Schooler Grain Company, D&M Body Shop, John Wright, Designs, and Sunflower Realty.
Minneapolis still in that man-to-man defense. It looks like it's a zone right now. You don't see him in the zone very often. Palmer picks up his dribble, gets it out front. Now Swift. No easy shot when you're playing him 3 foot beyond the arc. Ball tipped by Rice. Swift has it. Palmer, guarded by Nelson. Long shot on its way, front rim no good, and Nelson has the rebound. Griffin off to Osherman. They're going to call the blocking foul on Osherman. They're going to count the basket.
10th team foul over the basket there? Yep.
Yes. And Palmer will get the and one.
Number 15, Peachel. Count the basket for Lake Department will be at the line, shooting one.
Davidson, Pischel, Osherman, Watson, and Nelson currently on the floor. The and one is good.
Fourth turnover on the Lions.
Pass is tipped and picked up by Halstead. Long shot on its way is good. Palmer with the long three.
Number 2, Lake Farmer.
Pischel gets it off to Davidson. And Osherman all alone down underneath. They do not have the height to match up to Jonah Osherman. With the ball above his head, no way. 41-17 Minneapolis.
1:38 to go here in the second.
Watson smothering defense, tipped it, and it goes off Halstead defender's foot. It will be Minneapolis ball.
The 11th turnover on the Dragons in this half.
Watson plays it in to Colby Rice. Almost drags that pivot foot. Gets it off to Davidson. Long one on its way, no good. Davidson was feeling it. And the left-hand runner by Palmer is good. Tried to draw the foul off Davidson, couldn't get her done. And Osherman is fouled. Pretty evident. Cameron Core with the reach-in foul.
Minute 4 to go in the half. Osherman to the line for 2. That's the 8th team foul. Third foul on number 5, whoever that is.
Yeah, Chandler Drake picked up that foul. That's his third. Osherman free throw, in and out.
Turning to the Dragon lineup. Number 3, Eric Rose.
Darrow pulls out one of our rebounders in the lane, and the free throw is good. Puts the pressure on that guy to make that free throw, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
He did that yesterday, only he pulled everyone out. Free throw is good by Osherman. There's a runner in the lane by Cameron Core. 21-point lead. Watson out front, it goes to Davidson. tipped as the entry pass was headed to Osherman.
Hey,
oh my.
Referee down there says off us. He didn't see the tip.
Wow. Everyone in the stands had that call, but the 3 refs. Another long one, no good. Nice block out by Davidson. Official picks up the rebound. Ball on the way. Yes, he rattled it in. Official with a nice stroke. Top the circle. 7 to shoot, and this half is over. That will not count.
Mr. Davidson got it in the mouth.
Halstead. Yeah, I saw that. They're not very sportsmanlike.
After 1 half of play.
They're not used to somebody playing defense against them.
Minneapolis 45. The Dragons 21. We'll be back in just a little bit with a halftime wrap-up. Again, we'd like to thank our sponsors who help bring these live video broadcasts. Scott Osherman, American Family Insurance Agency, Citizen State Bank and Trust, River Hills Seeds, the Davidson Agency, or nationwide insurance agency, Robertson Monuments, the Messenger Clothing Company, Chuck's Collision, Hometown Hardware, Ag by Air, Central Valley Ag, Central Power and Equipment, offices in Minneapolis and Salina, and the Bennington State Bank with offices in Minneapolis, Bennington, and Salina. Scott's about got his numbers ready. I will go ahead and by quarters, Minneapolis led 27-3 after 1. Also got things rolling in the second quarter, much better than they had in the first. Each team scored 18 in the second quarter for this current 45-21 lead by the Lions. Rebounds, Minneapolis had 21 compared to 9 for the Dragons of Halstead. 12 of those were defensive rebounds for Minneapolis, 9 offensive rebounds. Turnovers, the Dragons with 11, Minneapolis with 5. And several of those, probably 2 or 3 of those turnovers on the Dragons were charging fouls. Don't know the exact number, that's a guess on my part. Yep. And Scott Oshman's ready to, he's got his computer done rolling and ready to go.
So, as you said earlier, good on the breakdown of quarters, good first quarter of basketball for the Minneapolis Lions as they outscored them by 24. It was even in the second quarter, those teams scoring 18. Minneapolis has the lead 45-21. Run through the scoring for both Halstead and Minneapolis. Jackson Swift for 3, Cameron Core with 2. Isaac Radke with 1, and leading the way for them is Lakin Farmer with 13 points. For the Minneapolis Lions, scoring-wise, John Nelson with 2, Dylan Pichel with a big 3 there late in the second quarter, Daniel Watson with 4, Spencer Davidson with 9, Nolan White with 8, Derek Friel with 2, Caden Griffin with 4, and Jonah Osherman 13 points.
Woo. Are you sure on? Didn't White have 3 trays?
No, just 2.
2? Okay.
Just 2. So, good, intense first half of basketball.
It really was. Minneapolis scored the first 18 points. Kind of a repeat of last night as far as holding the opponent on putting their foot down and holding them down early in the first quarter.
Halstead, Lincoln Farmer, you could tell the intensity was getting pretty rough out there.
Yes.
Both by Halstead and Minneapolis. We've got a couple kids with fouls. Lincoln Farmer for Halstead has 2. Drake Chandler has 3. And Cameron Core has 2 for Halstead. Minneapolis has a slew of them with 2 fouls. Caden Griffin with 2. Derek Friel with 2. Nolan White with 2. Colby Rice, Dylan Peschel, Spencer Davidson, and Jonah Osherman all with 1. Free throw shooting, Halstead was 7 of 11. Minneapolis was 6 of 9.
6 of 9 free throws for the Lions. Pretty darn good.
Yep.
Pretty darn good.
So that's your score at the half. 45-21. Minneapolis with the lead. We'll send it back to Dale and hear a word from our sponsors.
Okay, we'd like to continue to thank our community sponsors who stepped up to help provide these video broadcasts. Sunflower Realty, Monty Nelson, Designs, D&M Body Shop, School of Grain, Crooked Nail Studios with Alexis Kern, The Quilt Shop with Carolee Austin, Harris Crop Insurance, Minneapolis Muffler and Pipe with John Blake, Autotech, Dave Sweat and Gary Keating, Farm Bureau Insurance with Matt Pickrell, and ProFab with Bill Little. Thank all of our sponsors who are helping us out with these broadcasts to bring you this live video here on CityLinkTV.com Minneapolis channel, tape delayed to Eagle Community Channel 20 in Minneapolis and Bennington. We'll take a little break and I'm going to take a little editorial comment here. We got the time. Last night Minneapolis won by 92-19. I know there are some people that are going, well, golly, couldn't we have called it off a little bit? Well, there's some factors you have to consider as a basketball coach that maybe the fans don't think about all the time. Number one, and this hits home especially to me being a K-State fan, is you cannot play down to your opponent if your opponent doesn't have, quote-unquote, all the horses you have. If you do, you end up playing not like you'd like to see your players play. And you see that happen quite oftentimes with the K-State Wildcats. You can also say that's happened sometime when they played other people, but over the past several years you'll see that with the Cats. So you don't want your players to not give out their 100% effort. They got to keep at it. And number two, you can't just substitute your junior varsity players in willy-nilly. They can only play so many quarters in a season. You know, they've got a full slate of JV basketball games that are scheduled out. And so you can only play them so much. And so you've got to have your varsity players in there. And the third thing is, you know, like it or not, these games are scheduled. The players have to play for their coaches. The coaches are looking for them to do certain things. The coaches want to see effort. They coach them and coach them and coach them to play hard. And you can't just say, oh, well, we're winning big, let's back off. The guys have to keep playing. They have to keep showing the coach that they're interested in doing what they are supposed to do and need to do to win ball games. And unfortunately, sometimes that runs into a rout. because of those philosophies. But those are things that some people need to consider, and when they come back and say, well, how come our coach let that score get run up so much?
Well, your coach is playing 10 kids, and it's early in the year. You're trying to see which kids
we played 13.
Play best together. Well, after the route was on, then the 4 JV players got in the second half. But before then, you're trying to find out which players play best together. And you want to know later in the year which ones you want out there on the floor when it's nail-biting time.
Yes.
And he had 10 players, then 13, as you mentioned. They all scored, but still, you got to see your players play, and they're all giving 100%, and that's what the coach is looking for.
And this year, we're blessed with a especially talented and effort-giving group of players that we have a chance for a pretty special year. There's a lot of rows to hoe between here and the end. Here we go.
Halstead has the first possession here to start the second half. Motion offense, Minneapolis man-to-man defense.
Blocked by Griffin and then knocked out of bounds.
Little 8-foot runner found Caden Griffin. Blocked nicely by Caden. And that entry pass is knocked out of bounds by Nolan White. Palmer to play it in. Core goes to the back court to go get that inbound pass. Shot no good by Core, and Griffin has the rebound from Minneapolis. Davidson. Nice pass by Osherman. Griffin couldn't get it. And then he trips Core as he's headed up the floor.
Oshman with the foul.
Osherman's second personal foul. That pass ricocheted off Davidson's shoulder. White baseline jump shot, no good. That layup on the backside is good by Radke. Davidson misses the left-hand runner, and Halstead is there for the rebound, but Griffin pokes a hand in there. Pass clear across the court. White cannot come up with it.
A little high. Charging.
Good call.
Is that Watson that took the charge?
Yes. That's the third foul on Core. Now full court pressure by Halstead. Osherman stopped and popped. 15 points for Jonah Osherman in this contest, leading all scorers. Couple of shots underneath, and finally Lakin Farmer backs it out of there. Now they intercept, and the layup is good. We turn it over. Watson. Swift with the foul. I didn't see it. Osherman hit the floor. Davidson stopped before he got to the ball. It goes out of bounds. Turnover Minneapolis.
Each squad with 3 turnovers here this half. 5:15 to go in the third.
Halstead with the ball. Core has it. 3-pointer on its way. Way short.
Four offensive rebounds for the Dragons in this half.
Swift looked at a 3. Nice pass there by Farmer.
Out of bounds. Good cutoff there by Osherman.
Osherman, nice defense.
Denied that move to the basket. Friel and Fischel come in for Osherman and Watson.
Friel has it. Throws it over the top to Davidson. In the lane he goes. Shot good.
Left-hand runner.
Spencer's getting a workout. 49-28, Minneapolis with the lead. Skip past Farmer. He can shoot it from out there. That one's no good. Long carom is chased down by Core. Swift. Back to Farmer. That's a nice play as Troops come open underneath. We are terrible on this press and break press. They called that on Swift. He was moving right along with White and flopped, so
3:34 remaining here in the third quarter. Halstead Dragons are making a little run here in the third. They reduced the lead to 17 points. As Minneapolis leads 49-32 with 3:34 remaining in the third quarter.
Taking advantage of our turnovers. Dale?
Yes, we've had each squad 4 turnovers in the half. They've out-rebounded us 7-2 so far in this half.
And they're on that offensive end.
5 of them are on that offensive end.
It'll be Minneapolis ball to play in under our own basket. Eric Friel will play it in. There, a nice play. Griffin comes around after Davidson vacates the spot on the low block. That shot is up and in. Free ball on its way, no good. Nelson back to White. Out front, Davidson. Get down the lane he goes. Left hand up and good.
Get out of my way. I'm going to the basket.
Spencer takes it all the way to the rack. And 2 quick baskets by Minneapolis makes it look a little more comfortable. 2:55 left, third quarter. Should have been a foul there as Core gets our defender up in the air. no call. I'll have to agree with Mr. Core. It should have been a shot up and no good as Core does a flop, but White was headed the other direction. Air ball by Palmer. I think he's getting tired.
Watson comes in. I'm not sure if anybody else came in or not. White sits down.
Osherman's back in. Griffin all the way in for the layup on a nice pass from Watson. Palmer hands it off to Swift on the right wing. Minneapolis still man-to-man defense. Blocking foul on Nelson is the call. Swift's going to go to the free throw line for a two-shot foul.
1:48 remaining here in the third. A 23-point advantage for Minneapolis after. Is that right? 20,
yep.
Yeah. After they reduced it to 17.
Yep. Swift's first free throw is a brick. Second throw on its way. Money. 55-34. We have numbers. Nelson, a reverse layup up and good. The defender couldn't get to him.
Nelson. By number 2, Lincoln Farmer.
Palmer gets all the way to the basket, misses the shot, chips in his own shot. He's pretty tough down there.
1:27 remaining in the third. It's 57-35. The Dragons are kind of keeping right at it with us. So Minneapolis has the 22-point lead. Again, we thank some of our sponsors. Bennington State Bank with offices, locations in Minneapolis, Bennington, and Salina. Central Power and Equipment offices in Minneapolis and Salina. Central Valley Ag offices in Minneapolis and all over the place. Bennington,
Everywhere.
Delphus, you name it, they're everywhere. Ag by Air.
They can be everywhere, too.
That's true. They do. They are everywhere. Hometown Hardware. Chuck's Collision. The Messenger Clothing Company. Robertson Monuments. The Davidson Agency. River Hill Seeds. Citizen State Bank and Trust. And the Scott Osherman Agency.
Back after that timeout. Friel to play it in for Minneapolis. Nelson was not watching the ball. Goes off his hip, out of bounds. And now Halstead will play it in.
Friel with a nice tip away there.
Tipped. And Minneapolis turnover, and then he dribbles it off his foot. On the way to the basket, he had an opening.
Bishop, Rice, White, and Davidson come back in. Watson, Nelson, Friel, and Osherman sit down. I like being able to platoon 4 to 5 guys at one time.
Yeah, he's playing 9. And 4 in, 4 out. Palmer looks at a 3, guarded by Pischel. Dishes it off, and the long carom comes out to Griffin. We threw it away. Halstead with it. Palmer in the corner. Gets it out front. Swift on the left wing. Man-to-man defense. Caden Davis in the contest for Halstead. Good defense by Minneapolis. Shut down that baseline. They cannot get it away. Long shot on its way. Just short.
Little short.
Good looking shot. Ellen White pulls up and shoots a 40-footer just short of the mark.
Well, the outscore is 14-12 in the third.
It seemed like more than that because they did whittle it down, and
well, they did, but every time they did, we would score 2 or 3 buckets in a row to move it back up to 20, 22-point advantage. And it sits right now at a 22-point advantage. So.
Fourth quarter action, Minneapolis and Halstead. It's a tough one. Pretty intense game. Both sides are playing hard. Possession arrow favors Minneapolis. We'll play it in here to start the fourth quarter.
We'll start out here on the near side.
Players that started the game are in there right now. Griffin, White. Watson, Osherman, long three-pointer, rattles in and out by White. And Davis has the rebound for Halstead.
Blocked.
Shot in the corner by Davis is blocked by Griffin. They try that back door like we played just a little bit ago, and we covered up nicely on their inbounds play. Left-hand layup, up and good. That's Radke. Spencer all the way to the rack, coast to coast, and misses the layup. It was contested. There's another layup. This time they call the player control foul, and they're not going to count the basket. That's Radke's first personal foul.
7:10 to go in the fourth. It's 20-point advantage for the Lions, 57-37. Oh,
that's his fourth foul. It's Drake. We play it in. Griffin has it. Off to White. They're in the zone. They changed to man-to-man real quick. Entry pass is tipped away. White gets it back. Davidson up. Has a shot blocked. Gets it back again. Finger roll good. Mr. Davidson on the offensive end here tonight, Dale.
Yes, he's double figures, I'll bet you.
Swift, three-pointer, good. He's hit 2 of them.
24, Jackson Swift.
Spencer again on the backside. And a nice pass from White. I didn't know if White was going to gain possession of the ball. He had a hard time getting the handle on it. Drake has it in the corner now. Davis. Palmer all the way to the basket. Charging. Spencer's right there. It's a good call. Had two guys standing still, and he plows into both of them.
Sixth team foul on the Dragons, 2 for Minneapolis this half.
Two on two. White stops and pops. No good. Watson on the backside, and then Creel. We didn't let it come down to the floor, and the putback is good. Griffin is tripped. And White with the left hand on a nifty pass. Wow.
And Minneapolis takes a full timeout. Leading back again by 25. 65 to 40. 5:16 remaining here in the contest.
I like that cushion.
You like what?
I like that 25-point cushion.
Yes. Our community sponsors we'd like to thank for helping with these broadcasts. Harris Crop Insurance, the Quilt Shop, Carolee Austin, Cook and Nail Studio with Alexa Kern, Minneapolis Muffler and Pipe, John Blake, Schooler Green, D&M Body Shop with John Wright, Autotech with Gary Keating and Dave Sweat, Designs, Sherry Bertrand, Farm Bureau Insurance with Matt Pickrell, Sunflower Realty with Monty Nelson, and ProFab with Bill Little.
Watson, White, Friel, Davidson, and Nelson on the floor for Minneapolis. 5:15 left in this contest. Minneapolis playing pretty good defense once again here tonight.
Another charge. There's got to be at least 5 charging calls called on the Dragons tonight, if not 6.
He just made it a point to keep on going and just throw a shoulder into him.
7th team foul.
He needs to find the bench.
And we overthrow it. Is there a foul on that out-of-bounds play?
He's gone.
There is.
He tripped him. That's a flagrant foul. He's gone. He's done.
I'm glad there's some cheerleaders gear over there for Derek Friel to fall into. That wall would have been hard.
2-shot foul. That's a technical. Number 2's gone.
Technical foul has been charged to number 2, Leighton Farmer. That's his 5th foul.
That's dirty play.
Derek Friel will shoot 2. 5:01 remaining here in the 4th.
2-shot foul here on the technical. Good. Those are the hardest ones to hit, Dale. Those technicals, you're out there all by yourself, and everybody's just dead quiet. He got them both.
That is, unless you're any good, and then it's just nothing.
Unless you're at Sacred Heart, then they yell at you.
I didn't say that.
Oh, I did. And Minneapolis will play it in. We won't have to contend with Mr. Farmer anymore. Probably the leading scorer in this game besides Davidson. He just got another one. 71-40. Dale, I'm going to exit stage right.
Okay, thank you, Mike. See you tomorrow. 69-40, 4:43 remaining here.
Checking for the Lions, number 25, Colby Rice. And number 3, Jonah
Osherman comes in. And Rice comes in. White and Davidson sit down. Halstead tries to drive to get double teamed. Foul on Rice, I believe, for Minneapolis. Clock stops, 4:38 remaining.
Foul starts number 10, Derek Friel.
69-40, the score.
13 foul half.
Out of bounds, off of the Dragons. Their 10th turnover of the half. Watson with the ball for the Lions, races across the timeline. Off to Rice. For 3. Real layup from the left, no good. Put back, no good. Dragons with the defensive rebound. We got a foul on Minneapolis. Nope, foul on the Dragons. I'll take it to the other end for a 1-and-1.
Number 24, Jackson Swift, his second. 19 foul half to the line for Minneapolis.
Derek Friel, who just sank 2, is back for a 1-and-1. That's the 19th foul on the Dragons. Missed that one. Swift drives, kicks it out. 3-pointer from the right is short. Nelson with the rebound. He has it poked out. Goes to the Minneapolis. 2:56 remaining here in the fourth quarter. We're in the running clock situation. It's 72-40. Every time it gets to 30 points or more in the fourth stanza, it goes to the running clock. Get it to Nelson, who slipped, and he was trying to get the ball over to Watson, and went off the foot of a Halstead defender. Watson's going to rip it down the court to Klaus, I believe. Blocking foul on Nelson.
Foul starts number 12, John Nelson. His second. 14 foul half. 2 line for Dragons, number 22.
Fourth team foul. Free throw's no good. Second one's on its way. It's no good also. Klaus with the rebound. Gets it down to Fischel. Out to Nelson. He drives in. Shots off and no good. Defensive rebound to the Dragons. .105 remaining here in the game. The drive, off the glass and in.
Austin Bradley.
Gets them off the 40 mark where they were for quite a while. Down to Watson, shots no good. Nelson with the rebound, and he's fouled on the putback. So he'll go to the line for two. It's 10th team foul on the Dragons.
10th team foul now. Two line for Minneapolis.
Clock's down at 35 seconds and running. It's number one. 20 seconds and running on the clock. And number two again. Dragons play for the last shot, 7 seconds. The drive. Swift's shot is up, is off. 2 footbacks, no good. Your final tonight, Minneapolis, 76-42, and they are the champions of the Tri-County Classic. Their 6th overall in the 10-year history of this contest. Congratulations to these Minneapolis Lions. As they move to 4-0 on the season, Halstead takes their first loss. They drop to 3-1, and they had won the last at least 2 championships, if not 3. We will be back with the final stats in just a few moments. Bear with us, please. Champions getting their trophy. First time in 4 years. Congratulations, guys. May you continue on with a very successful season. Again, congratulations, Lions, for winning their 6th Tri-County Classic in this 10th year of operation of this tournament. While we're waiting for Scott, by quarters, Minneapolis scored 27-3 in the first quarter. It was an even 18-all in the second quarter. Halstead outscored us 14-12 in the third stanza. Minneapolis came back on the strength of a 16-0 run in the fourth quarter to outscore the Dragons 19-7 in that stanza. The final score 76-42, and that's the 4th time in 4 games that we've scored 70 points or more in this season. Rebounds, Minneapolis was out-rebounded in the second half 16-12. But for the game, we rebounded them by 6, 33-27. Turnover-wise, they had 10 in the second half. We had 7 for the totals for the game. 21 turnovers for Halstead. Minneapolis with 12, which is not too shabby. Okay, Scott.
Well,
got some figures for us.
I'll tell you, that was an intense ball game, and as you can tell, I'm losing my voice because I got pretty excited down there. I will say this: I know there's a lot of intensity out there, but what happened towards the end of that ball game with one of the Halstead players and what he did was totally
inappropriate.
Yeah. I'm so glad they called a technical foul on him, and he should be evaluated.
Been rough.
Yes, he's been rough all game, and I hate to. He's a good ball player. He's their leading scorer, but how he handled that and what he did was uncalled for.
He was a good player on their team last year.
Yeah. Scoring-wise for the Halstead Dragons, Cameron Core with 4 points, 2 points by Austin Radke, 5 points by Isaac Radke, 9 points by Jackson Swift, and 5 points by Alec Prospick. Lakin Farmer was their leading scorer with 18 points. They were 1 for 4 from the free throw line in the second half. So 8 for 15 for the ball game. For the Minneapolis Lions, scoring-wise, Chase Klaus with 2 points, Colby Rice with 3, Dylan Pisha with 3, 4 by Daniel Watson, 6 by John Nelson, 6 by Derek Friel, 8 by Caden Griffin, 10 by Nolan White, 15 by Jonah Osherman, and Spencer Davidson leading the way with 19 points. We were 4 for 5 from the free throw line in the second half, 10 for 14 for the ball game. Great effort. Nice job, Minneapolis Lions.
So we had how many players in double figures?
Just 3. Jonah, Spencer, and Nolan.
Okay.
And Jonah and Spencer carrying the majority of the weight.
All right. Our play of the game, I'm going to be a segment here. So many special things happen, it's hard to narrow down one thing. But sponsored by the Minneapolis Messenger Company, I'm going to go with that, if I counted right, 16-0 run in the fourth quarter when they were starting to make a little run at us. And we just popped it up from 59 points to... well, it couldn't be 16 points. 10-point run. 59 points to 69 to establish that lead again. Actually, it went up to, it was 16 points. Up to 74 points before they answered. So that was a special stretch. And that's sponsored by the Minneapolis Messenger Company. Great team effort by the Lions. Our player of the game, I'll go with Spencer Davidson, 19 points to lead the Lions and a great number of rebounds down there. He really took it upon his shoulders, along with Jonah Osherman, to carry the weight in the paint down there from Minneapolis. And both of those guys were our leading scorers. We'll be back next week on the home front with, I think it's Republic County coming to town. Minneapolis is now 4-0, champions of the Tri-County tournament, and we'll be back with more basketball after wrestling tomorrow. That day, Elite Scott Osherman and Mike Perry going to sign off. Thanks as always for having us in your home and watching us here on CityLinkTV.com, Minneapolis. Tape delayed to Eagle Community Channel 20. Good night, folks.